you want to drive or?
Sure, I can kick it off. I don't mind.
Sure.
You did such a great job last week that it's your choice, man.
All right. So I'll do the slides, and I'll pop some notes on the side as well. And then that way we'll have notes and everything else. And whenever you want to change slides, I mean, I'll infer it from context, but you can let me know. So
sounds good. All right. So can you talk to the slide for me?
I can definitely introduce you if you want to introduce me.
Well, I think actually, I guess we have Matt on the call today, so I don't think we've met yet, Matt. So I guess I'll introduce myself. Yeah, my name's Houston Churong, full-time crypto trader now for the past since 2021. Been trading cryptos though since 2017, run and stuck around ever since. And I'm the founder of the Montreal Traders Meetup group, which is a group that's no longer active, but lots of members in that one, probably the longest standing trading group in Montreal. And then I kickstarted this group. This is a bit of an old slide now because we rebranded ourselves. We don't call ourselves DeFi Montreal anymore, although you'll still find us through Meetup that way. But we started the group as a DeFi Montreal group, but we've rebranded ourselves to being the Montreal DAO. Yeah, this is an old slide because this is my old Twitter. So yeah. So anyways, that's who I am, and I'll let Classicus introduce himself, and we'll get more into the topics.
I'm Classicus, also known as Kyle. If we meet in real life, I go by my Classicus name most often in Web3 because that's just easier. So I'm a software engineer manager. I work in crypto. I have a background in AI, cybersecurity. I'm really, really big into tech. I'm really, really big into the the programming and all that kind of stuff. So I've been, running companies, coding since 1920 or so. So for a few years now, I'm a big tennis, hockey, running fan. I like reading. I like playing chess. Do all sorts of things when I'm not, being a nerd. And yes, I'm from Montreal, so I speak French also. So si tu veux me parler en français, on peut passer en français aussi. But by default, I'll just do it all in English. So yeah, so that's me.
Awesome.
So, back to you, Houston.
Yeah. So this is really not a formal call. This is usually just a community call, kind of making an AMA call. But we do want to have some stuff prepared in case we want to have some talking points. But the main point of these weekly calls is to kind of go over what what's going on in the Montreal DAO. Just kind of do a roundtable of folks in the room and see what's interesting to you guys, especially around building this community out. So there's really no structured agenda here. We're not trying to sell anything, of course, on these calls. Really, ultimately, I think the guiding light of this of this group, of this call, is how can we build up this Montreal community of Web3 enthusiasts, crypto folks, of metaverse people, whatever we want to call ourselves, and continue to grow and create an engaged community. So I think Kyle and I have chatted offline about trying to find ways for people to get more involved, and that's kind of the whole point of a DAO, right? The DAO isn't just for having a couple of people do to carry the torch all the time, but obviously it's important for us to think about how can we get people involved, and so it's not just the Kyle and Houston show or whoever wants to be the loudest or latest voice, right? So yeah, we want to definitely brainstorm today. How can we get people involved? Just simple things like maybe these meetings, are we doing them at the right time? Is 4 p.m. too hard for people? I heard some feedback from people saying, yeah, 4 p.m. is actually not a great time for me. Hard for me to get off work on time and make the calls, or it's Friday, I'm running off to do other things because it's Friday. So that's fair, So all these things are open for debate or discussion, and just thinking about how we can get more people engaged, so that we create a community and not just an audience, right? So that's the difference between what we're trying to do here and other places or other venues. So that is that. Any comments, folks, on the line before? I know I kind of rambled a bit there, but any thoughts?
That's great. Actually, the 4 o'clock thing I think worked great for me in the winter, like wrapping up my week. It's kind of like a wind down, but I think in the summer it's going to be more challenging. People want to get out, and start out, especially it's a long weekend, right? So personally, I'm coming off of 8 hours sleep in the last 48 hours, so I'm looking forward to some rest times.
Yeah, I know that a lot of people like to have like calls maybe on lunch or maybe like during their commuting time in the morning. I don't know, like we really just have to ask the community like what people prefer, right? I personally like almost all hours of the day are okay, especially on a Friday, because a Friday, like usually you don't schedule big meetings on a Friday. Like if we were a Tuesday, I'd be like, depends, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, I think we just talk about it. We can definitely change it if people have a preference.
Yeah.
What we can do is we can either send out a poll, or we can do a reaction poll on Discord, or there's 5 of us here, so that's not representative of the whole community.
We got a quorum. Let's do it.
Hell, dictatorship. Let's go for it.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, we're a DAO, right? 5 people in the army.
This is how it goes, right down the line.
Okay. So anyway, something to think about. I'll write some notes on that, and we can digest that over time.
Yeah, because maybe we can do both. Let's do the Discord poll, or reaction poll, and we'll also send out when I send out the meetup replay through the the meetup email channel, we'll also ask people there for their for some for their inputs, because I know not everyone on our meetup channel is in our Discord, so we're not gonna touch those folks if we just posted a Discord. So yeah, let's put it out there to both channels. There's no harm in that. I don't think we're gonna. Voting doesn't take that much time and won't kill you to vote twice. So,
especially if you make it like a one-click vote, and we want to merge those 2 communities as much as possible.
Exactly, 100%.
Speaking of which, so I don't know if you guys know about the Montreal DAO. Houston already mentioned it, right? We're a community of Web3 users. We like to build, we like to invest, we like to educate, we like to network. Of course, we want to empower people towards financial literacy. Of course, we want to socialize. This wouldn't be fun if we couldn't socialize from time to time. The meetup members is growing. The Discord members also growing. I think we got like 5 to 10 new members on each platform. It'd be cool if one day we would have like, we want to migrate the meetup members towards Discord, because we're a lot more active on Discord than we are on meetup. But not everyone uses Discord, so that's it depends from person to person. Whatever people prefer. I spend my life on Discord. That's like my my Microsoft Teams. I talk with my team on Discord. It's everything on Discord, so I'm there anyway. But everyone has their own little setup, right? So if you're not already on Discord, for whoever's watching on YouTube, come join us, say hi. We don't bite much, and we love to nerd out on a whole bunch of different things. So Houston, I'll let you talk about the Sea of Red.
The Sea of Red. So just a couple. I just have 2 slides that I'm going to chat about today, if there are, and then we'll open it up, because we have a lot of I think we have a lot of time for Q&A. But just for this call, I thought it'd be interesting, because usually I do the crypto market cap overview and DeFi TVL overview like once a month during our monthly spotlight calls. But I thought I'd just drop it into this week's call, because this past week, the past, I guess, 2 weeks, people finally have recognized that we're in a bear market. Right? It took a while, but people are like, yeah, now it's a bear market. It's like, yeah, no kidding, huh? There's no question anymore. The only question now is, how quickly do we get out of this bear market, right? So, is it one of those V-turn bottoms where we just go right back to highs again after some sort of V bottom? I don't think we've seen that liquidity spike yet, so that even hasn't happened yet. Or do we get one of these, spikes lower and then just go sideways for 2 years? That really hurts a lot of people. It's not that it hurts them, but it just gets people very bored. And then a lot of folks, the tourists, they leave and they don't come back again until the number starts to go back up again. So, that's the question, is what kind of bottom do we see here? The V-turn, where people still stay engaged, or, just the outright, die by boredom kind of, bear market, just kind of, takes you out by attrition. So the other thing I want to just spotlight here on this chart is the fact that the biggest story, obviously, for the past 2 weeks, 10 days, right, is number one, I think you're going to have a hard time fighting UST. So UST, which is, was, it's still there. There it is, right? That used to be big. So that used to be right beside USDC as the 3rd biggest one. So there's USDC, on the bottom left-hand corner there, right? It was right beside USDC. It was bigger than BSUD. So now that's basically shrunk drastically. So you can barely find that guy now. So that's the first one. And then, of course, the second one is, I think it's pretty hard to find Luna too, right? So there, you finally found it there. Yeah. So Luna used to be a big one, top 5 coin. Now obviously imploded. and there's, we're still feeling the I guess the blowback from all of that stuff, because we're still seeing people withdrawing out of USDT. People are even withdrawing out of USDC. So we're seeing a lot of redemptions out of those 2 coins, as people just basically got really scared. So they're even taking their money out of stable coins. Well,
And on the Luna saga, there's actually more stuff happening, right? Like the Luna Foundation wants to fork. So I don't know if you guys still have anything, or if you sold at the bottom or whatever. I personally didn't touch it, right? Whatever happened. I'm considering it lost, but I haven't taken it out. And I'm going to be following that. So if you guys are curious about what's happening, you can ping me, or you can do your own research, of course. But they essentially, I think on May 27th, so next week, they want to fork. So at least they're talking about it. They have a governance proposal up where they want to fork Luna into a new chain. So they're going to do just like Ethereum. They're going to have Luna Classic, and then they're going to have another Luna, and then they want to airdrop a bunch of tokens and try to like revive the ecosystem. Who knows if it's going to work? It'll be interesting to see what happens. Yeah. But so far the EIP looks like it's going to pass. I mean, I haven't looked at it in like a day or so, but so that's an interesting thing that we'll see what happens there.
Yeah, crypto Twitter's not been kind to that, the whole EIP and that push to Luna Classic, right? That they're like, I think some people were saying this is basically it's like a strongman tactic, right? It's just basically a dictator, like they call him Do Kwon a dictator now, because he's just pushing this thing through, right? Like there's no I'm sure I think it's going to be a tough one. Yeah, I don't know how you build that ecosystem up again without UST. And it's gonna be interesting. I don't know who would be brave enough to keep to reinvest monies into UST. So that's a
I know that there's gonna be a lot of speculation towards like if you can find a way to buy UST when it's off peg. And then that over time, if it does get back its peg, it's like a guaranteed. I don't know. I think it's a 10x now or something. Because I think it's like 0.1 or whatever. If you're willing to take that risk, right? It's a very contained. Like the worst case is you lose it. The best case scenario is you 10x, and then that's it, right? Like it's not going to go over its peg. That'll never happen. So it's very interesting saga. Like, crypto Twitter's not really nice on him, and even USDT. So now Tether, the original, a lot of people are like scrutinizing it. A lot of people are saying, hey, there's like, I think 9 billion missing or something like that from their treasury. And they applied to court to try to do something and it didn't work. And so now they showed it. And it's very interesting now that the stable coins are like under a really big microscope. Everyone's like flying over to USDC. And I think we talk about that. I put the change in the stable coins as one of the slides, but anyway.
No, but I think it's interesting because like the USDT, they just released their attestation, right? Was it today or yesterday? So they just released it. So they did their like quarterly attestation. Again, it's not a formal audit because there are no auditors in crypto. But they did their audit or their attestation. So they are mostly backed with cash or near cash equivalents like treasuries. And like you said, like they had $9 billion worth of redemptions this past week, which is a lot. That's more than they've ever had, and they had no problem. People had no problem redeeming it. Again, it only took 1 billion of redemptions to destroy Tether. I mean, to destroy UST, right? So Tether had 9 billion of redemptions, and no problem. It still held its peg. So the guys who are like calling for the Tether thing to blow up, it's like those are the same guys that missed the whole UST short. Like the guys who are shorting Tether, like, dude, you're pointing the gun at the wrong ticker, man. You should be shorting, like Luna. Don't worry about Tether. So these guys, they've been trying to short Tether forever, and they miss UST. So I don't give a lot of credence to these guys. But in the end, look at this side,
It's very interesting to see, like, of course, UST lost 95%. It's gone. Right? We know that, right? But it all went into mostly USDC and BUSD, and even Tether now.
BUSD,
you would think that Tether would have taken some backlash, but a lot of people, because of its shady history, it's very interesting to see that it's not actually in the green in terms of market cap. So everyone's sort of migrating towards those. I know that MIM, so Magic Instrument Money, with like the abracadabra thing, they had a big fallout with UST because there was like an infinite printing
Yeah, the DJ box. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. That was very interesting. If we can talk about this all day, but if ever I know Coin Bureau, so Coin Bureau is a YouTube channel, very, very famous YouTube channel in crypto. He released a very high level explanation of what happened with Terra, I think like today or yesterday or 2 days ago. So if ever you guys want to go get like a summary on that, Coin Bureau, what happened with Terra, it's very interesting. I like his I say his because it's the guy that presents it, but Coin Bureau is a good source for like news and stuff. I mean, if ever you got, I find it's a good source for news. Of course, don't take any advice. You know, no investing advice from anyone on YouTube, obviously. But you still have to say it nowadays. You know, but if you want to know what's happening,
you're selling information. You're not selling a coin, right?
Yeah, exactly. It's like, oh, trust me, you really, really want to buy this coin, and the guy has like a ton of like sell orders like placed, you know, ready, just limit orders waiting.
Yeah.
So you're saying Coin Bureau is a good tool to do your own research, basically, is what you're saying.
To start your research, yeah.
You start, yeah.
If you know, if you don't want to go dig into DeFi Llama and dig into projects and dig into white papers, and you just want to get like a general market overview of stuff that's happening in DeFi Twitter, stuff that's happening in DeFi, he'll generally tell you like a TLDR of what happened in crypto and that kind of stuff. And all the big events will cover them. Granted, they're delayed by like a week or two because he has to do the research and the events and stuff. Coin Bureau is what it's called. I've been following it for over a year now, and it's pretty consistent. And the guy's kind of goofy too, so it's funny. But anyway, do you want to talk about projects by TVL?
Yeah, so I'll just my final slide here, and it just talks to the dynamic nature of the projects and the kind of things that are in play right now. So a lot of things have shifted around. Like I wish I had a slide that showed like last month's. I could put it side by side, but a lot of names have shifted. Like
who's this?
DeFi protocols. Yeah, that's not bad. Exactly. Like look at if you go back one slide here, you go back to you see so MakerDAO is now number 1, and and Kyle's next slide shows it. So MakerDAO is number 1 on the right hand side, and Curve is number 2. Curve has always been number 1. Like Curve has been number 1 for so long until this past week. So yeah. Curve really got hit this past week. I'm still at a loss exactly why. I think they did a few things, like they shut down their UST pool and they redeemed that money. They sent the money back. So that they did lose a lot of TVL because they closed that pool out. So maybe that's that dropped them by 1 point some billion, I guess. But also at the same time, it's TVL, right? So that's total value locked, and that's based upon their market cap as well. So the Curve got really smashed this past week. What are they down this week? I think they're down like 20 or 30% this week. CRV alone. So they really got hit.
So they're actually up in the last week 1%, but in the last month they're down 50%. I do know that.
Yeah.
I do know that a lot of trust and stable coins shattered with Terra exploding. Yeah. So a lot of people that were in I think it was USD, USDC, UST, and USDT pool, everyone withdrew from that.
Yeah, see, that's exactly it, huh? Yeah, so they withdrew all their. Yeah.
Exactly. And there's still a DAI, USDT, USDC pool that exists, but even then, people are like, if one stable coin could blow up, I don't know.
Yeah.
People are like going out of stables and they're just like removing their money. So that probably has something to do with it. Same thing with Lido, right? Like, like people are exiting, or not exiting, but they're moving their assets elsewhere because they're scared of stuff happening. Like I think that the general market, the general TVL for DeFi has gone down substantially in the past month.
Yeah,
big time. I mean, also the crypto markets have gone down, just generally speaking.
Yeah. So the overall mood is just terrible right now. If you go on crypto Twitter, just nothing but people are throwing shade on each other. So we're getting close. We're getting close to a near-term bottom. I think that's the good news. Yeah. All right. That's it. That's it for me.
Cool. Yeah, the same big players are there. I'm surprised that DYDX is so completely crushed at less than $1 billion now. I know that. Are they even on here? No, they're not on this. So these are a little bit two different graphs. Like this is DeFi Llama, and I think this is Token Terminal. Yeah.
Token Terminal. Yeah.
Yeah. So a little bit like similar, but a little bit different.
Yeah.
So we'll see how things move. I wonder, like, Yeah, Curve is on all the chains. I did do a top TVL per chain, so the movement. Obviously, you know, I don't think Terra's even on here. No.
Yeah, they're gone now. Huh? Yeah, they're off the top 15.
Yeah, they're gone. Yeah, they're not. Even, I'm surprised Tron's still going very well.
Yeah.
I don't know any protocols on Tron. Do you guys use Tron or no Tron or?
No, I think it's just because of their stablecoin, right? That thing has popped up the price of the underlying. So I think it dragged the TVL up.
Yeah,
obviously their USDD has a.
Yeah. I'm gonna have to do some research on Tron. Maybe interesting. You know, interesting.
People like, you know, they've been trying to trade that thing, but it's people. If you're buying that thing now, you're late. You're like really late. But people are trying to, you know, ape into that thing, but they're super late.
Yeah. Kronos also is the backbone for UST or for Terra, no?
No, Kronos is the crypto.com.
Sorry, Cosmos.
Yeah, it's a Cosmos chain. Yeah.
It's a Cosmos chain. Sorry.
Yeah. Never used it. I think there's only one guy in our group Discord that's used it, right? That's double A there. AA. I think he's yeah.
Let's use what, Cosmos?
Yeah. No, he's used Kronos.
Oh.
Yeah.
I don't know. I see CRO and I think of crypto.com.
Yeah, do you? I don't even know. I didn't even know it was for a long time. I'm like, oh yeah, it is CRO. I'm like, yeah, oh yeah, okay. But I don't know anyone's ever used it. I never, except for AA. I'm like, that's the first person I ever met who's ever actually even used CRO.
Cool. Top. Yeah. So we talked about stablecoins. All right. So let's talk about some, you know, projects of interest, some online events. I'm gonna just move over this guy over here, just so I can see you guys while I take notes. Okay. So projects of interest. I know we talked about last week that maybe talking about some of these big DeFi projects. You know, we talked about Curve. Curve is like the worst project to introduce to retail because it's it's like a terrible UI. It's like a 8-bit UI, you know?
Yeah.
And
you guys know Curve? Adina, Matt, Tony, you guys know Curve?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. It's like one of the core building blocks of DeFi. Like everyone, like if you go back to that slide that Cal had on Curve. Curve's on every single EVM and other EVMs too, right? Other chains too, right? Or is it just EVM? Maybe just EVM. The Curve is, you know, that's like one of the backbones of DeFi because it is like the stable coin DEX, right? So
it's a yield farmer slash it's the place you go to deposit your tokens to get yield on it to keep and you keep it decentralized, right?
Yeah.
It's like the first real decentralized yield aggregator. So it'll decide where to put your stable coins for you. And it pays you like an interest rate that is quite like variable. Like right now, if I'm just looking at you know, if I just look at, for example, Curve ETH pays 10% plus up to 26.84% on the Curve ETH pool. But that only has like 64 million TVL. So it's still pretty
so for new people who are newer to this stuff, like the way you think about it is, so you know the big daddy of DEX is Uniswap. That's like the first one that kind of caught fire, and so that's still the big daddy of all the DEXs, essentially, or you know, let's call them AMMs, right? Automated market makers.
Hayden Adams,
that's right. So what's the difference between Uniswap and Curve, right? So that's the question you have to ask yourself. So why is Curve so popular if you know, if Uniswap is the big daddy? Uniswap obviously creates the most amount of revenue for itself. Like usually after Ethereum, Uniswap's like the second, you know, protocol that makes the most amount of revenue for itself. So what's the difference between Uniswap and Curve? That's the question you have to ask yourself, and to begin to go down that rabbit hole. So
that's a great topic, actually.
Yeah. So the big difference, and I'll say it in a nutshell, but there's a lot of stuff, you know, there's a lot of research that can be done to go down that rabbit hole. Is Curve specializes in stable coins. Like that's really the difference between Uniswap and Curve, is that Curve has a multi-pool model, right? So you can have a 3-pool, a 4-pool, a 5-pool. You know, all these things are, I don't know, 5 pools don't exist that much, but you know, you can mix multiple coins together into a single pool. In this way, you create a market around, you know, multiple coins. So usually when you go on Uniswap, it's like, ETH versus USDC. That's only 2 coins in that pool. And it's, an automated market maker with, anyways, I don't want to get too complicated because there's LPing as well. That's,
that's good. It's good. That's one of our goals, education,
Yeah.
I appreciate that because I get Uniswap, but I didn't realize what Curve was about. So it's multiple pools or multiple tokens or stable coins in the same pool.
Yeah.
So you can,
and then their real specialty is the fact that they have different, like they have stablecoin. They specialize in stablecoin pools. So they have the largest stablecoin pool in the world, right? So they have that 3 pool, which is, I think Kali said, USDC, DAI, and USDT. Yeah. So that's the most liquid place in the world you would go to if you want to flip between USDC, USDT, or DAI. It's basically like it's very difficult to have any slippage there, and the fees are super cheap, right? So if you need to quickly convert between one of those coins, you'd go there, and that's why when UST exploded, it started there, right? So UST, they're trying to create a 4 pool: UST plus USDC plus DAI. Minus DAI plus the other 2.
So is it? Do you think that the whole Luna, recent activity, is that probably what Curve has stepped down from its number 1 spot to number 2? Yeah, I mean, it's just
the whole thing with Terra started, or at least I'm paraphrasing what the Coin Bureau said, but it started from the combination of multiple things. One of them was that someone exited their liquidity position of UST on Curve.
Yeah.
So
because they were doing a rebalancing.
Huge chunk of it on Curve and then converted it, which put a ton of sell pressure on UST, which then scared people and caused a death spiral, among other things. Scared people, and then everyone started to like sell, burn, and then that started the whole loop down, right?
Yeah.
There's other rumors of like the different things happening, but yes, Curve definitely the place that you want to go. I know a lot of people that use Curve; they've been using it for years, right? And they're just like they trust it, they don't care. It's never failed them as long as you stick to like the big boys, right?
Yeah, it's the backbone, because that's if you think about it, that's like this whole kind of the whole VE model is based on Curve, right? Like you have DAOs and other protocols like Compound and Convex who basically try to get Curve tokens so that they can control governance, so they can issue themselves yield, or just they can issue their pools more yield, right? So it's Curve is like the backbone of all DeFi. So interesting to see now Curve down 50%, their tokens down, their emissions are like when you get paid in Curve emissions and Curve's worth 50% less. I think it's a bit scary. I've always been of that opinion. Like I don't understand why I think it gets tricky when the stuff you're paying yourself in is getting worth less and less, right? So it's a very tricky scenario there, but yeah, very, very important discussion. I think it's a little bit of a complicated topic. I don't know if you want to do that one as a project spotlight, because it's difficult to go from like 0 to 1. But I guess if you give it an hour, I guess someone could explain it. But
but it's there's almost like a DeFi like toolkit that we should do first to like explain like what's the difference between liquidity pools, automated market makers.
You got to go start there. Exactly.
Like, you need to know
building blocks. You
got to start with the AMM stuff before you start jumping between like let's talk about different AMM models.
You want to start with flash loans or something?
Exactly. What's a flash loan for?
Flash loans for liquidations and stuff like. It's all these things that we kind of, when you're in the industry for a long enough time and you like you talk about it, you're like, you totally get it. But it's very intimidating coming from like, especially from TradFi now. If you come from TradFi now, it's like, oh my God, you have to learn like a whole new lingo. So
and it keeps changing, right? Because like Uniswap version 2 was easier than Uniswap, Uniswap V3. so
V3 is so cool too, but like, no one uses V1 anymore.
V1. So because that's a whole other level of evolution. So I think maybe we do have to start from the ground up.
You have a question, Adina?
I just want to make a comment. Lynn Alden,
she's good.
She wrote a recent article this week that explained the actually she predicted. She said she talked about the death spiral a week before it happened, and she had no idea. but she described the entire scenario as to how this could happen with Luna. And her least recent article is this Wednesday. It's called Terra, Bitcoin, and the Crypto Crash.
Yeah.
And she writes for somebody like me. It just doesn't understand. Well, understands a little bit, but not everything. And she spells it out in very clear terms and without going into a whole lot of detail. So I thought I'd throw that in. Seeking Alpha. I don't know.
Yeah.
You can feel that.
If you guys are, I think Adina, you kind of have a trading mindset. So if you're as a trader, if you actually want, I think the best voice, probably the loudest voice on crypto is who's we talked about is Kevin Galois. No, Kevin Zhu from Galois Capital. So he's been on Odd Lots. He's been on Bloomberg and Odd Lots, and doing the rounds on crypto Twitter and crypto podcasts. But not only did he call it out, like he's been one of the most loudest voices against Luna since January. So he's taken a lot of heat for a long time. But the nice thing of the difference between someone who just talks about it, his firm got short too. So like the nice thing is that he actually made money off of it. So it's, one thing to just say I spotted something, but the next thing is like I actually made money off of it. There's a big difference there, right? As a practitioner. So so I definitely go through his stuff because he's been he's been all over Bloomberg this week and a bunch of other podcasts. So I think he's probably got the best like play-by-play, like hour for hour, like how it broke down. If you really want to get into the milestones, so that's probably the one I would check out. Galois Capital. Yeah.
Does he have a YouTube channel?
No, he's not a YouTuber. No, he's a fund manager, so he doesn't do YouTube.
Sorry, what was his name? I'm just gonna write in the notes.
Just look for Galois Capital, Galois. So he's not French. He's not Gallic. He's a Chinese guy, but his fund is called Galois Capital. But interesting story because he's an institutional trading background, but he came out of Kraken. He ran the trading desk, and then he moved from there and created a fund. But he's been like one of the loudest voices on against Luna since January. But no one believed him. He took a lot of slack for a long time. Those guys, the lunatics, right? That's what they call themselves, the Luna guys, the Luna tribe. They really went after him for a long time, but he stuck to his guns. And the hard part is, like, how do you short this thing, right? That was the hard part. And he tells a really good story about, the fact you can be right on the analysis, but it's not easy to get short a thing that's going up that quickly. Because if you're trading perp futures, the funding rate was ridiculous. The funding rate to get short was crazy, right? Because this thing's so reflexive that you could, if your timing's wrong, the funding rates will just kill you. So you can't just like take a short on January because you'll just get, well, number one, the price will go against you. And number two, the funding rate will just, kill you. So so really needs a practitioner.
But if you held it, right, and you were still short after the whole thing happened, you're like Michael Burry level.
You're done for the year. You're done. Maybe you go on vacation now, You're done for the year, man. That's his style. He's like, he gets like one big hit a year, so that's kind of his style. So it's neat to see.
Adina, what was the name of the resource that you mentioned?
Lynn Alden on Seeking Alpha. Yeah,
Lynn Alden and Seeking Alpha. And what's it called?
I like Lynn. She's got a lot. She's smart. She's smart as heck.
Terra, Bitcoin, and the Crypto Crash. If you just, I can put it in the chat. She's got it. She's got. You don't need to go to Seeking Alpha. She's got her own website. You can get it there before you get to Seeking Alpha.
There's this girl on YouTube. I forget her name. I just have her face. She does a podcast. It's very popular.
Camilla Russo?
No. Stacy or
a young girl? I think
young girl, yeah.
Yeah, I've seen it. I don't remember her name either. Like education.
Crypto Casey. Crypto Casey. That's another one. She's a cryptocurrency for beginners. She has great podcasts, also like high level. She gives nice tutorials on like how to set up ShakePay or maybe not ShakePay, but like how to set up like a Binance wallet and like do all these stuff, right? She's pretty trustworthy too. She's been in the industry for a long time. She won't try to like scam anyone. So Crypto Casey is another good one. I'm gonna write that in the notes also. Cool. We've been talking a lot. I did want to because Matt is here with us, and I want to get to know a little bit more about Matt. Or if Matt, if you don't feel like sharing or talking, then that's fine too. But is there any like resource or something that you like or that you generally go to enter crypto, or are you still very, very new to the space?
Well, I've been around since 2018, but so I've like followed quite a few YouTubers, but like as of late, I find that the Bankless podcast is pretty good, because that they focus a lot about what's going on in Ethereum, and it seems to be where most of the innovation is happening. And so I think they release an episode almost every day. And so I mean, there's sometimes alpha, like listening to what they have. So it's always good.
Yeah, decent resource. Yeah,
for sure. Awesome. Yeah.
I personally, I find them to be a little bit too maxy, but
hey, yeah. I mean, you talked to some. I was surprised at how Bitcoin maxi the ShakePay community was.
Yeah, they're very maxi.
I was like, wow, like I wasn't expecting.
Really?
I was expecting to go in there and be like, hey guys, can you offer like L2 support and stuff? And I was like, I'm gonna get my head ripped off if I.
Yeah. But I don't know why they don't support Lightning. They should support, because they're Bitcoiners. Like they should support Lightning, but they don't support Lightning. It doesn't make any sense. So I think people have been asking them on Twitter for a long time now. But anyways,
well, it's funny because it was the first for me. It's the easy onboard for fiat, right? Just transfer to your ShakePay account, and then off it goes to an exchange.
Yeah, off it goes. Yeah, 100%.
I actually had NDAX, I had Quadrilax before that, which didn't work. And then I had NDAX also. I don't know if you guys ever heard of NDAX. That
was Coinbase, right? Wasn't that term? No, who wasn't that? What is that one? No, that's another one, right?
NDAX is another Canadian one. They're out of Alberta. They're out of Calgary, I think.
Okay, never heard that one.
Yeah, it was another very low fee onboarding thing, which you were able to like send an e-transfer, and then you had it on chain, and then you could send it out and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And it's only in Canada, right? Because Canadians didn't have that many options until. Well, I mean, now we have Newton, ShakePay, Crypto.com, Binance. Like we have a ton of different options. But in 2018, 17, 19, we didn't have that many options. Okay. Anyway, so let's talk about the next online event.
Yes, let's talk about it. So just polling the room. What do you guys like to hear about? Should we do something like another project spotlight? Or do we go to the building blocks of things, like kind of what we talked about before, and then just get down to like the building blocks of DeFi? Like what's I'm just spitballing here. What's of interest to the group?
Well, personally speaking, I'm doing a lot of research and reading everything, and I'm going down the proverbial rabbit hole about 12 times a day. And it never ends. It never ends, and I can see how. Who said it? Marius. He says it's like you're going to university all over again. Like for about 6 months, you just go. But so, what you guys have been talking about for the last, 40 minutes, 45 minutes, to me is abundantly more interesting because you're there, you've got, you know the vibe, I'm not reading a textbook when I'm listening to you. You're just chit-chatting and I'm hearing stuff that I don't read about. And it may sound trivial to you, however, to me, I just pick up stuff like a little sponge, and then, it's okay here. And these little references to other places where I can go, or places and names that you find interesting. I'm going to go there and I'm going to see what they have to say, and that's all I have to do now.
You're down the rabbit hole. You're down. You're going deep.
A good analogy is like there's so many rocks that turn over, but it's good to hear from somebody. Hey, did you check over underneath this one? And so it's that whole networking advantage of talking to somebody who's already been there.
Yeah,
like the Radox protocol. I mean, it's been abundantly. I've received so much information, and literally, Tony, in the event that you hosted. I mean, again, I got more stuff. I found out more things that I just like. Oh, okay, right. And got to remember that. I have to write this down. I wish I could just record everything. It was fabulous. I thank you very much, Tony.
Oh, you're welcome. No, it was fun. But there's so much, whether it's Radix or elsewhere. I mean, there's a whole, well, as you say, Curve. I haven't really looked into Curve and what that whole DeFi world and all that money that's already on chain. I've been more focused on the technology, not so much the trading aspect. So, yeah, this is cool. I mean, to get the references. So how does that play out into a next event? What
I would suggest a topic like trends and analysis, or you know.
And so okay, so I like this. I think our next online event will either be so I'm going to suggest 3 things, and I think we're also going to do like polls or something, and then just you know create a poll, people react, and or they answered in Meetup. So the first one I have is crypto building blocks, so teaching about the industry standards. So that's like what's the difference between quickly cold wallet, hard wallet, what is yield farming, what is a DEX, how does it work on a high level, what's an EVM, non-EVM, what does that even mean, right? Like like just some basic
an acronym dictionary.
What can you do with crypto? Like I don't know, like we can go to many different levels, right? Where we can go as deep as, hey, I really want to know how Curve works, and let's go deep dive into Curve and like pull up some smart contracts and read it. I don't think we go that deep, but like anywhere in between there, right? Like I think within the DAO we have enough knowledge to go at any level. We just kind of have to figure out what people want to like learn about, and then figure that out. That was one. The second one is resource sharing. So we all kind of, so I could give out like a template of like, everyone give us your top 5 favorite YouTube channel, or maybe top 3 YouTube channels, top 3 podcasts, top 3 websites, and then I'll present 3 slides. Houston presents 3 slides. Adina presents 3 slides. Tony presents 3 slides. Matt, if you want to present 3 slides, you're welcome to, right? And it just we just share, like, if we have the same thing, then great, we have the same thing, right? But it's also good, like you guys said, to know the resources that other people use, because very like Tony's analogy of flipping over rocks, right? Like if we're all
that's a great suggestion. Everyone have, here's my top 3 YouTubers or whatever. Yeah, no, I think that's cool, because we're gonna cross-pollinate and discover new sources of information. That's really cool.
Yeah. And then if we see that we're all looking at the same spot, then hey, that's good. That means it's a good spot, right? And the last thing is
or we've all been programmed by
we all got no alpha, got the same stuff.
Yeah, exactly. And the last thing is trends and analyses. So that's more kind of what we're doing today, of how's the market trending, what new projects are going up, going down, where's the money moving, that kind of stuff. I do really think that the resource one is fun. And then it'll also give us a good idea of the interests of the group. So I think what we'll do for the next online event is I'll create a Google slide that'll be templatized. So and then I'll share it within the DAO, and anyone can go in and just enter some slides if they want to. All Houston and I will kick it off, right? We'll intro, here's what we're doing today, blah, blah, and then we'll just have, everyone will have, 1 to 3 slides of stuff that they want to show off, right? And it'll be, your favorite YouTube channel, favorite podcast, and then favorite other things, that website, app, anything. If people want to shill in a certain project, then fine, they can do that, right? But if you're the only one shilling on a project, then it's kind of okay.
I'll bite my tongue because I shill all the time.
There's nothing wrong with passion.
No, that's okay. I appreciate that. No, but you're right. The YouTube podcast, that's great. And if you could put that out in the, an invite for the next event, then everyone can look at it and say, okay, I got to bring something to this one. It's potluck.
Yeah.
Call it the resource potluck. Yeah.
Resource potluck. Exactly. Cool.
And number 4, maybe we can do it like another project spotlight. That's would be another option. Would be, let's find another project that people are interested in, and then we can find a really good speaker, either from the project itself, and then we can see if someone will present on behalf of that project. So I don't know if there's any projects that you guys are watching, but now given the market, I think most people have no trust in any projects right now. So there are no people hear from anyone.
Yeah, I mean, if we can get someone from from Uniswap to explain how the Uniswap thing works, that'd be awesome.
Let's get Hayden. Come on, Hayden. Come on. Talk to us for an hour. Come on, explain to us how Uniswap works.
We'll send you an oat. It'll be worth it.
Exactly. We'll pay you in oats.
Yeah. Okay. So yeah, we can make sure on that. I just want to be mindful for time because we only 5 minutes left. Next IRL event. So the last one was pretty successful. I was thinking of doing one the second week of June. Do we do it at the same spot every time? I did look for sponsorships with ShakePay specifically. They do have a sponsorship form, but you need to have your date and your venue determined beforehand. And depending on the date and the venue, and like if you have speakers, all that kind of stuff. So I don't know if we want to like rent out a hall and then try to get sponsorship. And if we don't, then we're kind of stuck with like a bill. And we don't have like a DAO fund yet or anything like that to pay for this type of stuff. So I don't know if we want to try to get a sponsorship for ShakePay for this event, depending on how big it is, because their ranges is less than 25 people and then 25 to 50, and then 50 to 100 and then 100 plus. So those are the ranges. So if we do like 25 to 50, but I don't know if we can get 25 to 50. If we're at a restaurant, maybe not, but if we're at like a venue, then we could probably get 25 to 50, right? Make it like a more official venue, and then have ShakePay sponsor it, and then we can probably get make some noise in the community. I do know that a lot of us are also going to the Chainlink event.
Yeah, I saw that. Yeah, like, you guys seem very enthusiastic about that. Is that something that you've followed before? Or?
I've used Chainlink for the last year, like on chain. I've never actually went to a Chainlink event.
Chainlink is so agnostic that everyone knows Chainlink, right? So yeah, I'm curious to see what they have in store for the Montreal community.
Yeah, because they're doing a lot of East Coast stuff right now. So to be honest, I'm going there to network, get free food, and get free swag.
You're honest.
Well, you missed out. Although the swag is coming, guys, for Matt and Nadina. Yeah.
Yeah. So like, I definitely want all that stuff. I'm sorry. My collection of conference T-shirts is starting to wear out. Like the conference I started university are starting to like die out now. So I need to start getting more T-shirts and stuff.
That's funny.
But okay, cool. So next IRL, the next IRL event, should we just do it again as social at the same place?
Yeah, I think we got to talk about that one. Like, let's what do you guys like? I know we have a very small representation in the group right now here, but what's your guys' feeling? What's your gut say? Do you want to keep it like the same as last time, or do we begin to increase the scope of the events and take on sponsorship and that kind of stuff?
Well, the venue, insofar as where we held at Casual Spot, it was very noisy and it was hard to circulate. If you find a place like where Tony's Discord was on Tuesday, Wednesday, where we have a room off on the side where it's not quite as noisy and people have room to circulate and walk around and meet everybody, that's great. Insofar as sponsorship, to get people to commit to actually come, they've got to put money down, or they've just got to say they've got to commit to something. And I don't know how we can get people to actually pay in advance. And like, I'm going to spend $5 and I'm committed to going to this place, because we don't have a wallet. I mean, we don't have a way to
yeah, we don't have a fund yet.
But if you have sponsorship, you don't have to worry about people putting money down. You're just trying to optimize the numbers, right? So you don't have to worry about dropout rate. You just basically have unlimited room.
I could ask if we could do something with like beer tickets or something like that. I mean, if that helps to draw people, and
free drinks definitely helps, right? If you just tell people there's going to be free drink and food, people are going to be some folks who are like, this downtown Montreal, I'm a hungry student, I'm coming, man. Like, because I know like the Bitcoin Embassy guys, like when they used to give out beer and pizza, dude, the people would just show up out of the woodworks. Half these people were not Bitcoiners even, they're just like randos who'd show up and like, I remember I was there for the last one. This guy scarfed down 7 pieces of pizza. I was watching him, me and Sandro, watching this guy. He scarfed down 7 pizzas and drank like 5 beers like in an hour. and it's like he's not a Bitcoiner, you know. He's not a Bitcoiner.
Our group this week was a little tamer, which is great. I mean, a lot of fish and chips and whatever. The pub environment was fantastic, I thought. Anyway, it'd be nice to, I'd like to do another one downtown, but this month is probably too soon, right?
Yeah, this month is it's only 7 days left or 10 days left, whatever.
Yeah.
No, I mean in June, probably.
Oh yeah.
Something in June. Yeah. We do have because we have this call every week, and then next week we have Chainlink already as an event. And Tony, you had your event last week, and this week was more of a calmer week. Next week, so it's almost like in 2 weeks, maybe we could do an online event at the same time as the AMA. And then the week after that, maybe we do the IRL event. And maybe I was actually thinking as we were talking, because you mentioned wallet. I was thinking we could start a DAO fund. So like a DAO wallet, I can create a DAO wallet, create a multi-sig, and then we can use that to like pay for stuff. And then we can pay ourselves back after, once we get sponsorships and once we do all this kind of stuff, right? If we want to.
Yeah.
Just an idea. I'm very skeptical about us creating a token for governance and have voting and all that kind of stuff, because once you create a token, there's no taking it back, right?
Yeah. But this is the discussion we've been having, like a couple months now. But I've actually found a very interesting project, but I don't think we have time to talk about it today. So maybe we got to save it for the next AMA call, because this is going to take at least another, given how much I like to ramble, I'll take at least 10-15 minutes. So maybe we need to, to sideline that topic. So. But we do have a lot open-ended things that we didn't unfortunately get to resolve. So I think we're going to have to find a way to discuss this kind of async, right, through Discord. Yeah. So if you guys, want to take part, I guess we'll just open this up in our DAO chat channel, right? I think that makes probably makes most sense to have this conversation. We'll drop it in that channel there.
I'm going to drop the remainder, so the next IRL event, the next online events, so just to confirm. And what's the third thing? Do we have a third thing?
I think we can cancel our AMA call next week, because they got that chain linking already, right? So that's going to be
good point.
So maybe we'll reconvene this call until the next 2 weeks, right?
Yeah.
But I think I want to make sure we're not getting event fatigue, because there is a lot of back-to-back stuff. And I think that is real. Event fatigue is real. So, we got to make sure that we're not spamming people too much with events.
Yeah, perfect. Okay, so resource, and that'll give us actually a full week to accumulate the resource sharing for the slides for the next week after that. Yeah.
Let's talk about that presentation. Like, I'm personally, I don't want to take much time, but I'm of the opinion that one, I like the idea. But I don't know if it's I don't know if I'd wanted, to, like, personally, if I was not part of this group, I probably would not log into that event. It just seems like to me, but a bunch of random stuff that would appear on the screen. So so it's like, and I'm hearing a lot of repetition again. I'd be like, oh God, I don't want to hear this guy repeat the same stuff as the last guy. After about the third slide, I got to get out of here. So. I think this is a great resource, though. But I think we could use the community to aggregate these resources, but to do it on a call, I think that's not like the most useful use of time.
Yeah.
So
I do think that the idea is good, but the delivery is not quite the right thing. More maybe like a resource leaderboard, or like like, give us your top resources, and then it's a poll, and then
we'll curate it. Exactly, we'll curate it together.
Yeah, that's a good idea. Do it as a poll, or do it as a
people just drop in their favorite resources and like on a
survey,
board, on a board somewhere. Like we just open up an Asana board, or a Notion board. People can just drop all their stuff in there. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. Cool. So these are good discussions. I'm going to stop the recording now.
Yeah.
And we can continue this later on Discord. We have gone five minutes over, so I'm stopping the recording, and we'll talk later.
So long, viewers. See you next time.
Thanks for coming, guys.
Thank you, Classicus. Thank you.
All right.
Yeah, thanks, guys.
Cool.
Good job, man. GG.